in listen-only mode.
Hello, and thank you for joining us this morning for the California's Brokers Roundtable, featuring our amazing broker, Tom Bullock. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Before we begin, we're excited about a few new highlights here at Allison James Estates and Homes. The first being our coaching program. This is a program that caters to all levels of production. If you want to be coached by a top producing agent, understand your weaknesses and how to overcome them, and increase your social media and marketing knowledge, this program is for you. Other highlights are our Real Estate Tuesdays and Technology and Fun Facts Friday, which will feature anything related to our tools AJI offers. Both are live on Facebook. Lastly, please don't hesitate to call me or schedule a one-on-one call with me if you have any questions concerning our systems here at Allison James, or if you just need a refreshing course on AJI University. You can reach me at support@ajicorporate.com. And without further ado, welcome, Tom Bullock.
After this introduction, I'm a little bit afraid of my presentation, but let's move forward anyway. Before I get started today, I just want to extend all of our thoughts and prayers to go out to all of those that are affected by the Los Angeles and Ventura County fires. For what they are experiencing right now, as I understand it, the fire is still out of control. In fact, they closed portions of the 405 yesterday, which is a main artery for those who are not familiar with LA, traffic artery. So again, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we all wish you the best. And if there's anything any of us can do, please reach out for assistance. My presentation today is going to be regarding the 2018 new and revised forms from CAR. Starting January 1st, 2018, there will be 19 total changes to our current CAR forms list. Of the 19, 3 will be brand new forms that are being introduced. 3 will be discontinued forms that will no longer be available. And 13 will be existing revised forms where the language within the document itself have been changed. Before I get started, I would like to ask all of you, as I go through the list and do a brief summary of each of the changes that are taking place, if any questions come up to you, I would request that you write your questions down during the course of the presentation, and after the conclusion of the presentation and after this program ends, please contact your broker so that they can go into more detail with you regarding these revisions and how they might affect you and or answer your questions regarding a specific document. Your brokers would be Jeff Green in Northern California, Omar Hellman located in the Los Angeles, Orange County marketplace, as well as Mary Jane Morris in the Temecula, Marietta marketplace, or myself right here in San Diego. So without further ado, I am going to be reviewing these changes. Form code AEA. E is an elephant. That is the amendment of existing agreement terms. This new form will be used by one party to an existing contract to propose changes. Like any offer or counter offer, the proposal only remains open for a set period of time. If the other party agrees, it should be signed and accepted. If not, the terms of the existing contract remain unchanged. Form code P as in Paul, IA. That is the Property Images Agreement. This is a new form that documents a licensee's right to use for marketing purposes, photos, videos, and other images of property taken by a third party, identifies the compensation and whether the broker obtains an assignment from the photographer or an exclusive license. This form does not necessarily give a licensee the right to use images if moving from one office to another. Form code TEAM, T-E-A-M. This is a team agreement. Again, this is a new form that documents the relationship between a team leader and the team member. Form is designated for use only between the real estate licensees, non-licensed team members, or those of other associations with a team leader should be addressed through a different form, such as the personal assistant contract. This form has pre-printed compensation language, letting the parties choose between a percentage or a flat fee rate, or they can opt for a formula created to fit their own personal situation. Make clear that all licensed activity flows through the broker. Most importantly, the form addresses what happens to clients and compensation if the agreement between the team leader and the team member is dissolved. The form covers commencement of the relationship through the termination. Form code BRE, Buyer Representative Agreement Exclusive. Added language clarifying that agency compliance applies to more than just 1 to 4 residential units. Conform to changes to RLA in June by removing optional arbitration clause and referring to separate agreement for that purpose. Form code BRNE, Buyer Representation Agreement, non-exclusive. Added language clarifying that agency compliance applies to more than just 1 to 4 residential units. Conform to changes to RLA in June by removing optional arbitration clause and referring to separate agreement for that purpose. Form code BUO, Backup Offer Addendum. This added second part to form that seller can use to notify backup buyer if primary contract have been canceled and buyers being moved into primary position. Form code COP, that is the contingency for sale of buyer's property. Added language to paragraph 1A, requiring buyer to give notice of close of buyer's property to seller. Added 1B to clarify that buyer cannot unilaterally remove the contingency to avoid all other obligations in COP. Examples include whether the seller includes seller's right to insist on proof of funds and removal of loan contingency, or seller's right to cancel if buyer notifies seller that buyer backup contract has been canceled. Form HOA2. Now, this is not on the chart on the list because this was a new change that I just picked up on mid-morning today. What that is changes for required homeowners association documents. Beginning January 1st, 2018, the HOA billing form, HOA2, must include a statement informing the seller that he or she may give the buyer at no cost copies of required HOA documents that are in the seller's possession, and that the seller may request the needed documents but is not required to purchase all of the documents listed on the HOA2. Now, I have included and sent to your brokers the updated list, so they have a copy of the updated list, which includes the HOA2. Next form code, MHP as in Paul A. That's the manufactured home purchase agreement and joint escrow instructions. Paragraph 1F adds language to more accurately reflect the tax situation if mobile home is not real property. Paragraph 7C3 added an allocation of cost paragraph so that the parties can designate who is to pay for the HCD registration and title fees. Paragraph 12 was modified to make clear that buyer has an obligation to submit a completed park application and other requested information to prevent delays in processing park review. NBP, notice to buyer to perform. Added language to prevent the argument that the NBP can only be used for contingencies or covenants, but not both at the same time. P as in Paul, S, D as in dog, parking and storage disclosure. Added optional language avoids confusion over the form if the primary agreement does not permit parking or storage. Extra paragraph added for additional disclosures. RFR, receipt for reports. Added language above the buyer's signature advising buyer that receiving reports prepared by others for others does not necessarily give the buyer any legal recourse for errors committed by the preparer of the report. SIP, seller's license to remain in possession addendum. Language added informing seller that money paid for possession after close of escrow will not be returned, even if seller moves out early. Seller also advised to obtain insurance to protect personal property. Form code SPRP, seller purchase of replacement property. New optional paragraph 1B gives seller the option of notifying the buyer that seller's property is already in escrow on replacement property. If 1B is checked, then seller would want to check 1C, making the primary contract contingent upon the seller's ability to close on replacement property. Form code SWPI, that is the septic inspection, well inspection, property monument, and allocation of cost addenda. Added language makes clear that those performing services are qualified professionals. Paragraph 1D defines the time by which certain agreements need to be made by linking them to specific contingencies. Paragraph 2 identifies a website where the parties can find additional information. Form code WFA, Wire Fraud and Electronic Funds Transfer Advisory. Language added to make clear the warning applies not just to wire funds, but also to all types of electronic transfers, including electronic payments of rent. Signature lines change so that form can be used for lease as well as sale transactions. The last three forms I will be covering today will be the forms that are being discontinued and will no longer be available. NHD, National Hazards Disclosure. This form will be discontinued in both paper and in zip form plus. NHD form that is a third party, that is in third party reports satisfy legal requirements. So this form is duplicated in most cases. S, P as in Paul, T as in Tom. Notice of your supplemental property tax bill. This form will be discontinued in both paper and in zip form plus. Required language appears in the SBSA, and the SBSA is referenced in the prorations and property tax paragraph of the RPA, making this form generally unnecessary. Form Code MS, Mortgage Loan Disclosure Statement. This form will be discontinued in both paper and in Zip Form Plus. An equivalent form is available on the BRE website, dre.ca.gov, that can be used instead of this rarely used CAR form. That covers all 19 of the changes coming about for the beginning of 2018. Now, these forms, as of today, are not available. These forms will be made available to all of you beginning the week of December 11th, 2017. That's next week, and will be required to be in effect beginning January 1st, 2018. Yesterday, with our broker's update, an email which all of you received, it's an update that Jeff Green prepares and does an excellent job with it. He included a link to the 2018 advertising rules that are going to be followed in 2018 by CAR as well as the BRE for their review and for their ability to correct if mistakes are made. So the 2018 advertising rules that can be found in the broker's update will cover all types of advertising that you might use in 2018. For example, it will cover and how does the changes apply to business cards, stationery, advertising flyers, advertising on TV, in print, or electronic media. For sale, open house, lease, rent, or directional signs, when any license identification information is included, and also any other material designed to solicit the creation of a professional relationship between the licensee and the consumer. Again, these are all the compliance issues that the BRE as well as CAR are looking at when you put together your marketing and advertising material. So again, go to the CAR Brokers Update. I believe you received the email yesterday, and you'll be able to keep yourself updated on the 2018. Make a copy of it, keep it with you throughout the year so you can make reference to it should questions come up. Again, I want to emphasize that your brokers in your designated brokers in your area have the information I just covered today. If any specific question comes up, please contact your broker and they will be happy to clarify or to help you with your question. Tracy, that concludes my presentation today, and I turn it back over to you.
Tom, thank you very much. And since you are my broker, and I don't know if anybody else is thinking this, but as I'm listening to you do the rundown on these and the dates given, are the new forms going to be subject to current escrows that are closing probably, after the 2018 date? Do we need to go in and put those new forms in our SkySlope?
No. Any existing transaction, any sale transaction will still that's began and started in 2017 will remain as is. In other words, you will not have to go in and replace existing signed and executed documents with the new documents. Starting next week, December 11th, when you pull up your zip forms or if you use paper, only the revised forms will be made available to you. So, so that will be that. And then the brokers, when we do our file review, we're going to make sure that the current forms are being used as well, so that if after January 1st, 2018, any old forms appear, we'll more than likely reject them and ask you to update the form.
Okay, great. Thank you for answering my question to my broker. Thank you, everybody. And again, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And this will be on your Learn tab in AJIU. So if you want to find it or tell your friends about it, that's where they can find this presentation. Again, thank you, everybody. Have a great day and
Hey,
a great
Tracy.
week. Yeah. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, before we wrap up today, I
Yes.
want to announce what's going to happen on our next Brokers Business Accelerator. We're going to be skipping December and going into January. Our next event will be a panel with the 4 brokers in California. We're going to be discussing techniques and skills and plans and things like that for making 2018 a very successful year. We have a great knowledge base to draw from with our brokers, and so I want to encourage everybody to mark that on your calendar. I believe it's the last Wednesday of January. Is that correct, Tracy?
That is correct, sir. Yes, it is. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, that's going to be that broker panel will be fabulous.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you so much for reminding me that. And please tune in next time, and please watch your event calendar on AGI University, or you can see the upcoming webinars that we have offered here at AJI. So with that being said, everybody have a great weekend. Bye now.